You can still get your life back. Get your life back. It's real. Get your life back. Get your life back.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Get Your Life Back with Cheryl podcast. I am a certified life purpose coach, and what I do is help people actually break through barriers so they can propel into their purpose. And so that's what this whole channel is about. And it incorporates a lot of things, but it's all about enhancing your quality of life. And I am a faith-based professional. And so everything I do integrates and incorporates theology and psychology together because God created the mind, the body, the spirit. He created the brain. He created everything. And so I bring a holistic approach because he cares about you as a whole, beloved. And so that's the only way I can serve you. And so I provide strategies to help people enhance their quality of life spiritually, naturally, psychologically, in different areas. But not only that, also entrepreneurial wise, learning to help you, first of all, identify your purpose and your passion, and learning that your purpose and your passion can sustain you for life, that you have monetizable strengths, gifts, abilities that you can use, things that you love to do, things that you have a passion about. You can learn how to turn it into a service that will impact other people in such a positive way. And some of you and people that I encounter, they don't even know that. And some of them don't even believe it because of the trauma and the things that they have gone through. And so, as well as being a certified life purpose coach and a pastoral counselor, I'm a mental health professional as well. And I do this every day as a behavioral clinician. And so, but I use this platform because I have a passion to see people living in their purpose, operating in their passion, doing things that they love to do. And so I try to bring meaningful content that will help you and your neighbor. So get your neighbor and tell them to become part of the Get Your Life Back tribe. And how you can do that is, number one, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell so you can receive those notifications. So every time I upload a video, you can just jump right in. You can tune in. I provide strategies. I have courses. I have master classes. I'm planning on doing retreats. Sometimes I speak at conferences, so I'm also a keynote speaker. So enough about me, enough about what I do. If you want to know more about what I do and who I am, go to CherylYHoward.com or go to GetYLifeBack.com. That is my blog. And blog. I want to give you strategies to help you remove mindset and emotional barriers, or AKA blocks, right? Because a lot of times that is what's keeping us stuck in life. The mindset, our belief system, our thought life, our negative narratives and stories that we have told ourselves that actually stem from things that we've gone through, actually stem from traumatic experiences, but they become blocks, emotional and mindset blocks. And it's hard for us to move past it. And so it's hard for us to operate in our passion and in our purpose when we're dealing with mindset and mental and emotional blocks because we feel them every day. And so I want to help you learn how to overcome things that you can incorporate in your life on a daily basis that would transform your life, that would transform your mindset. And I love the way the Bible tells us that there's a renewing of the mind that we receive when we receive Christ into our life. There's a renewing of the mind that takes place. And so also in psychology teaches in cognitive behavioral therapy that if you change the way a person thinks, you can ultimately change their behavior. And so that's why the two work hand in hand. And I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyway, so, God is concerned about the whole person. And I can't leave that out. I can't leave God out of the picture. So if you're not a believer and you feel like this is not for you, God be with you and his peace be with you anyway. But those of you who are, or you're learning more about God and how he created us and everything and how he cares about us as a whole person, you are in the right place. So let's get into these strategies. These strategies, they will help you dismantle, remove mindset and emotional barriers, as I said, emotional blocks that can be transformative It's a transformative process, basically, that allows you to experience growth and overcome limitations, overcome the effects of trauma in your life. And so I use one of my specializations is REBT mindset. REBT is rational emotive therapy. Okay. But I use it combined with a mindset coaching. And so I use that process because it helps you to dismantle. It helps you develop an ability and a skill of replacing negative thoughts, negative beliefs, limiting beliefs, and changing it with something positive, creating new narratives and new stories that you tell yourself. And the word tells us to proclaim and speak even the word over our life. That's how we speak life to ourselves, to our situations. So the two, again, work hand in hand. God created the natural and God created the spiritual. And so I use REBT, which I'm certified in my coaching practice. And what it does is help you reduce irrational beliefs and it replaces them with rational beliefs, things that make sense. So you will learn techniques. If you work with me, this is what I teach you. I teach you techniques that help you reframe, restructure, teach you mindfulness, teach you how to cope, learn how to rationalize, using different strategies like Socratic questioning, disputing and challenging and testing your thoughts and putting them on trial and really looking at its, what's the word I'm looking for? Validation, truths that are not there, but you think they're there. You learn to evaluate and activate thoughts and things that are inaccurate. So you learn how to put your thoughts on trial. And how you do that is you look for the evidence. And we're going to talk about that. Look for the evidence that supports the narrative and the negativity that you have told yourself. A lot of times it's from past stuff. And so we don't even realize sometimes that because of these negative thoughts and limiting beliefs, things that we have experienced in our past, we kind of look at things with a different perception and perspective because of it. And so it can cause us to see things that are not the way it is, but it's what we tell ourselves. It's our belief system. And so I try to help you change that belief system. And so let's talk about these 6 strategies. All right. Number 1, practicing self-compassion, right? Learning how to treat yourself with love, treat yourself with compassion, giving yourself grace, forgiving yourself, being gentle to yourself as you work through your journey of recovering and healing and restoring. You learn to recognize, these blocks that you have created to become normal. You learn to recognize what you have done, how you have normalized them as part of your life and how it makes you feel stuck, right? And it creates these challenges and hardships for you and barriers that seem like there's impossible to overcome. And so with giving yourself compassion, you support yourself. And when you support yourself, you care about yourself. You start investing in yourself. You start investing in your healing and your restoration. So that comes through working with life coaches like me, working with pastoral counselors, working with therapists, working with who else? Anybody that's in the profession of helping people, right? Any behavioral or emotional support professionals. These people will help you learn how to break through those things. Okay, so let's go through this. Let me give you 6 strategies to help you remove mindset and emotional barriers and blocks that you have created. And they have consumed your life to the point that you feel stuck. You have made them bigger than even God. And God is penetrable, do anything. But you have created such a block. It's hard for you to move past it. And it became a monster in your life. And I'm here to help you break it. So this is your breakthrough moment. Okay, so let's get into these 6 strategies to help you dismantle and remove mindset, emotional blocks, right? When you remove these blocks, you start a transformation that takes place in your life, as I said. And so today is your day of transformation. Okay, that's why I'm also a transformational speaker. Number 1, practice self-compassion. When you practice self-compassion, you learn how to invest in yourself. You learn how to invest in your well-being, mind, body, soul, spirit, everything, emotions, in every area of your life. You learn to give yourself grace. You learn to be gentle with yourself. Some of us didn't receive it from anybody else, but you learn to be gentle to yourself. You learn to become your own therapy. You learn how to speak life to yourself. And you give yourself grace while you're going through this journey of recovering, rediscovering who you are, learning who you are for the first time, right? Because when you can remove these barriers and blocks, you can see clearly, you can hear more clearly. You set yourself up and position yourself to get more clarity about why you are here, what your purpose and what your passion is. Okay. And so with all of that, the whole investing in yourself, you learn how to seek out help from trusting individuals. It could be people in your life. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be mental health professionals, including pastoral counselors, therapists that have a word of counsel, pastoral counsel that have a word of counsel, or skilled at counseling individuals, right? Life purpose coaches, behavioral and emotional coaches, like I am, wellness coaches. These people are here. They are healers, natural healers, and they're here to help you. Okay. They help you learn how to dismantle these negative and irrational thoughts that you have. And so you learn how to replace them. So they give you tools and they give you strategies. And so you can live life being a victor and not a victim. Okay. They help you remove, again, all of the things I said that are negative and replace them with healthy and rational perspectives and perceptions, and help you identify whatever the blind spots that you may have right now that you are not seeing. These individuals can help you see the blind spots and remove them. But you have to be open. You have to be willing. You have to give yourself grace, right? You have to forgive yourself. And that's something you can learn in the process. So another strategy is identifying the stumbling blocks and the barriers. Again, you be able to remove the blind spots and you be able to see what's behind it. And a lot of times it does come from our past trauma, but you become more aware. This is how you learn how to identify. Once you become more aware of what's the underlying issue that is causing the block and the barrier of your mindset, you become more aware of your emotional barriers that hold you hostage and it cause you to feel stuck in life. These mindset and emotional blocks, they show up in different ways. They display in different ways in our life. They also display themselves in your relationships without you even knowing. So a lot of times the reason why I pointed out going to mental health professionals or people who are skilled at have insight about behaviors and effects of trauma, they will help you see these things that you may not see yourself because you may not know that they are effects of your trauma, but they show up and then it cause negative impacts in your life, right? And you can't get past it. So that causes a negative belief. It can cause fear. It can cause you to have triggers, negative self-talk, negative language, self-doubt, distrust issues, feeling despair. So many forms it can display itself, but you be able to see it like, I know where it comes from now. This is why I do what I do. This is why I think the way I think. And then you start to employ all of the tools and the strategies to help you, right? So I'm giving you these tools and strategies now. Another strategy is challenging your cognitive processes, the way you think about things, your belief system, the narratives, the story that you change, that you tell yourself. You learn to change the story. You have to change the story that you tell yourself. You have to examine and question your thought validity. You look to see if it's valid. Does it hold up? What are the facts? So you learn to ask yourself, you ask these beliefs that are based on things that you've gone through, right? Instead of drawing conclusions and assumptions, because that's what we do. And it's called cognitive distortion. You draw conclusions and assumptions based on your past, the trauma that you've gone through, experiences that you have gone through that was also negative in your life. And so you tend to look through those lenses. And so when you start to question your own thoughts, so be your own therapist, your own belief system, are there any truth to it? And if so, what are they? Or who told you that? Why do you believe that? So you start to question yourself. When you learn to do that, you start practicing dismantling and replacing and telling yourself real true stories based on facts, not how you feel, not what somebody told you, and not what you believe. You learn to reframe. So one of the strategies also under changing your cognitive processes is learning how to reframe a situation. Because if you're coming from a negative point of view, you're going to tend to see the negative in it first. You're going to go to the negative first. You're going to go to what's unhelpful, the unhelpful thoughts, the irrational thoughts that can make you feel negative. And then that creates a whole nother thing, right? And so when you learn to reframe the situation, look at it from a different point of view, practice thinking of something in a different way, change the perception of how you see things. Let me give an example. You could be going through something at your job. Supervisor called you in. Because you have experienced so much rejection in your life, the first thought you think is, oh God, did him call me here? I'm about to get fired. Where does that come from? Where's the evidence to support what you just said, what you believe? So you learn to say, wait a minute. This is the thought. This is how you can go through the process of changing the way you think about it. Wait a minute. I didn't do anything wrong, right? You're putting this thought on trial. You're putting this belief on trial. I didn't do anything. I didn't have any write-ups. I don't have any negative encounters at work. And so when you go through that checklist in your mind, hopefully you use a coping skill to help you relax for the moment, to stay regulated enough to say, wait, there's no reason for me to think that I'm in trouble about anything. So then a new thought can be, well, maybe I'm gonna get a promotion. Maybe the supervisor wants to collaborate with me on some things. Maybe they just want to do a check-in and see how things going. Why can't it be positive? Why does it have to be negative? Because you may have had so many negative events in your life, it's caused you to see things through those lenses. So that's what we call automatic thoughts. Automatically, that's the thought that came to you because that's been your experience. So you take an old experience and you bring it into a new experience, and you don't even give it a chance to grow or show you that this is something completely different than what you have experienced in the past. But because something resembled or made you feel, or your mind automatically went to the negative, the narrative that you told yourself, the disbeliefs, right? So I just wanted to give you that little example of how you can reframe and replace something. Another strategy is letting go of the effects of the trauma experiences in your spirit, your brain, and your emotions. And that can be, I am going to do a whole nother series on that. Faith and neuroplasticity, but we'll talk about that later. Rewiring your brain and adding your faith to it. But we're going to talk about that another time. So letting go of effects of traumatic experiences in our lives that has affected us mentally, spiritually, even the way we think, even our brain. So we learn to rewire our brain and add our faith to it. And also how the traumatic experiences has also affected our emotions. But I'm going to do another series on faith and neuroplasticity, rewiring the brain and adding your faith to it, combining your faith to it, and how you start to see manifestations because you have aligned your mind, your brain, the way you think about things, the way you process stuff, right? You aligned it with the word of God. You aligned it with your faith. And that's where manifestation comes. You even confound the doctors. They're like, how in the world? And there's studies to show that when people have a certain level of faith and they believe, their belief system is so strong, it does something to your body. It does something to your brain and the neurons and the signals that your brain begin to tell your body, your nervous system. You create more different neural pathways because of your faith, and aligning it with the word of God. You create new ways of thinking, new ways of processing. So this is how one quick way of showing you how to rewire your brain. But I'm going to talk about that in another podcast because that one is going to be real deep. I want to bring you a lot of stuff with it. But let's get back to employing all of these strategies. So you learn to work to replace bad memories with good ones, right? This is the work that you would do, learning how to replace bad memories with good ones, right? Because bad memories bring bad feelings and bad emotions. So you learn to create new memories, basically. Try to do things in the present. The more good things you do now, the more new activities you engage in that are positive, that are building up build you up. It also induces more feel-good hormones, serotonin, dopamine. You start having more moments feeling better. And so the more you do that, you give less energy to the bad memories and the bad thoughts, and you give more energy to the positive and the good. Even getting in the word of God and speaking, right? Because we got to change our whole language. Speaking the word and including our faith and giving ourselves positive affirmations. And so you employ techniques also like journaling. People find it very helpful. Sometimes, I mean, there's power in journaling. People who like to write, it is therapeutic to them. So even writing these thoughts down, writing your feelings down, creating maybe a diary or journal of things, you're also having a cathartical moment. You're releasing stuff. You're releasing the negative. You're putting it here. That's one way of letting it go. You're letting it out. You're putting it down on paper. Sometimes some people do something. This is a strategy people do when they're grieving as well. They may write a letter. It could be of negative feelings that they have for somebody or something or situation. Write a letter explaining how they feel. And then what they do after that, they may throw it away. It's like a way of letting something go, right? You kind of going through the emotions of it and you're throwing it away and you say, I'm letting this go. It's almost like a strategy, leaves on a stream, picturing something in your mind and then putting it on a leaf, imagining yourself by a river. This is another strategy, psychological strategy. And you're imagining whatever that thought is, that issue, that thing is, you're putting it on a leaf. You imagine yourself laying by a stream, right? And that thing that you put on the leaf, you're watching it go away on the waves, away from you. So this is something that you can do. You can imagine yourself, or you can actually go to a real stream if you're near one, or lake, whatever. But you can imagine yourself letting go of something and watching it just go away from you. It has less power over your life, basically. It's no longer consuming you. So this is what you're doing. So journaling is good for that. Writing stuff down. Prayer, powerful. Don't forget to pray. Don't forget to include the God factor in this whole thing, right? Also receiving trauma-focused life coaching. Again, getting therapy, grief counseling, because we can grieve from different situations. It don't have to be death. It can be loss. It can be displacement from something. You can also seek counsel from a pastoral counselor, such as myself. You can join support groups. This is you investing in your own healing, emotional and mindset healing. And when you join groups and you receive this type of services from people, you learn to release emotions that are trapped in your nervous system. They're trapped in your cellular system, which has a memory. But when you get help, you learn how to process what's going on. You learn strategies to build yourself up emotionally. And then those other things that seem to be overpowering, they have less power in your life because you become more empowered. So any symptoms of disempowerment that you have, that goes away. Okay. So you're building yourself up. So all those emotions that are trapped in your cellular system, which cause triggers in your life, right? Sometimes we have symptoms of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Sometimes that can show up in nightmares and in flashbacks. But the more of this work that we incorporate in our lives and we implement them, we have less experiences of nightmares and flashbacks and feeling triggered. They no longer have the same power over us, along with our faith. Let's get to these strategies. Cultivating a mindset and self-awareness. This is the last strategy I'm going to mention on this particular video, and I'll come back with maybe 4 or 5 more. Cultivate mindfulness and self-awareness. Self-awareness is always key because you have to be aware of what's actually happening. And again, you can learn it, again, working with some professionals, becoming self-aware and introspective of yourself, examining yourself, utilizing coping skills that will keep you regulated emotionally so you can take a moment to process and think about everything. What's happening? What's going on with me? Question yourself. Become fully aware of your thoughts and emotions and the sensations that you feel from the memory and from the emotions and from the thoughts that you have. And that's how you practice self-awareness. And practicing self-awareness helps you to become more mindful of what's happening in your spirit, in your thought life. And then you learn how to detach yourself. And I showed you some strategies before this one, or ways that you can detach yourself from these thoughts and these memories and the story that you told yourself. or the perception that you created, right, of what's actually happening in a situation, and negative limiting beliefs. And so you learn how to respond in a more positive way and conscious. You become more conscious of things that are happening with you. And then after all of that, you ultimately make better decisions because now you are better. You see better, you hear better, you think better, you're going to feel better, which means you're going to move better. That's it. That is all today. I just want to share those 6 strategies. I really want to help somebody overcome and break through these mindset barriers you have. It is time for you to live. It is time for you to live and walk in your calling, operate in your passion, live in your purpose, and decide to live on purpose. That means you're going to be vigilant and intentional about living life on purpose and doing what God called you to do, doing what you love to do, doing what you are passionate about, because it's going to help you feel better. You're going to feel like you have a sense of purpose and a sense of meaning in your life. And then you live life on a whole nother level, another plane. Then you'll be open to love and wonderful, great opportunities in life that you may not have before because you didn't allow yourself to, because everything else was crippling you. But I just helped somebody today. So if you employ even those 6 strategies, I guarantee your life will be better, because it also includes getting help from people who can give you strategies and interventions that you can talk to on a regular basis if need be. And if you are looking for I'm a life purpose coach and I'm a mental health coach as well, you can reach out to me on CherylWhiteHoward.com, and there is a form you can fill out. You can go to the tab that says Work with Cheryl, and you can complete a form telling me exactly what you need support with. And you and I can set up some sessions and we can work together. First, we can have that free first consultation to see if it's a good fit. Always have to do that, right? And then if so, then we will move on from there. And I have coaching programs, group coaching programs where they're not one-on-one. It's just that you would get help along with other people, but it'll be as if it's you and me working together, but other people they're getting the same content, they're getting the same information, the same strategies. So however you want me to help you, I am here to serve. And so, again, go to CherylWhiteHoward.com if you want to know more about my masterclasses, events that I have, books that I have that you can actually download right now that will also help you as well. And any coaching services I have, I help you. I specialize in relationship. I specialize in mindset coaching, okay, and premarital coaching as well. So I do a number of things. And of course, a life purpose coach, because I have a passion to help people live in their passion and in their purpose. First, they have to discover, you have to heal, you have to overcome things so you can actually thrive in life. God wants you to do that too. Okay, I'm done here because I get long-winded and this will turn into a sermon. So if you're not a subscriber, please, 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 please join the tribe. I'm inviting you to join the Get Your Life Back tribe. I'm also inviting you to join my Patreon. I have a new Patreon tribe where it's a monthly fee, low monthly fees. If you want that continuous support, I share things with my Patreon tribe that I don't share here on YouTube. Sometimes you'll get a glimpse of stuff, but there I'm scheduling like live coaching sessions right on the spot. We can have dialogue and conversations. And that's what I want to do. I like that live experience in the moment, and not just helping one person, but helping many. And so that's what my Patreon is about too. I will also have that in a link so you can join that if you want to. But right here, you can become part of the Get Your Life Back tribe with Cheryl, Get Your Life Back TV, because I'm always providing strategies. And I also like to bring on other guests who share their expertise, or not only that, people who are like you, who have a story and they have a testimony, or they're actually going through something right now that they're working through. And so you can become inspired and motivated and also receive help and support as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, you be well.
Get your life back. Get your life back.